Well, I'm excited about Movie Circle today because I do have an agenda and I'm excited to connect and, of course, engage in the comments. And if people jump on, then awesome. If not, this will definitely still be a blessing to you and it will be great. It will be available later. And so, one of the things that I want to talk about today is, of course, for people who are watching later, if you don't know who I am, I'm your ambassador, Diamond Rachel Whigham. So, one of the things I want to talk about today is your why. And what I'm realizing more and more is without the development of a real why and a commitment to your real why, you just won't press forward. Like, and I'm for real, and I'm going to talk in terms of newbies, regardless of who's on here today, because I think it's imperative for you to grasp the simplicity of it, especially when it comes to mentorship of other people. The why is the bread and butter. The why is the vehicle's gas. Like we are the vehicle. Your gas, when it comes to your business, is ultimately your why. If you do not have gas, the right gas, you don't get to your destination, period. You don't get to your destination. You don't have the capacity to get to your destination. And so I want to talk about what it looks like to develop a real why. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, but then I will talk about now because I know there's a lot of people who have been in the business for a while who may be struggling with what it means. It's like, well, yeah, I want the business to work for me, and I know why, but I can't define the why. I know why I want the business to work for me, but I can't define it. If you can't define it, it's not real. It's not real. If you cannot define the why, it is not real. So let's talk about when I first started. When I first started, my why simply was to be able to pay for private school without leaving my son more, period. It was to be able to pay for private school without getting another job and being away from my son. Private school was $660 or 620. I think it was 620. I think private school was 620 and I just wanted the extra $500 a month. Clearly, that's not enough. But I knew that it would give me the ability to not have to pick up another job to keep my son in private school and stop pulling from student loan debt and being in school for a master's that I did not want in order to. It was like I was tired of making a way. I was tired of making a way. And a lot of people are going through life right now, including you, perhaps under the sound of my voice, that where you're making a way opposed to having your way. There's a difference between making a way and having your way. And the whole point of this business is to no longer have to make a way and to have your way. Have your way. Allow your business to be your way. What is the most pressing thing on your heart? And I know some of you guys might be like, well, I feel like I have so many pressing things. Okay. So now I'm gonna give you a moment. Go get a pen and piece of paper, and I want you to write down every pressing thing on your heart, financially or time wise. So financially or time wise, what is every pressing thing on your heart? So for example, new levels, okay? Pressing thing on my heart may be to, not maybe to, for us, for my husband and I, is to pay private school in one payment. Pressing thing, that means that at certain points of the year, we have an extra ten to $20,000 to give to private school. And I'm not saying pull from savings. I'm not saying not even the thing, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying like straight up 10 to 20,000 in excess that can be pulled and given to private school. And for some people, that may be too big. It may be too big. It may be like, well, I don't have faith for that. That's fine. I've been in it works for 11 years. I'm an ambassador diamond. Of course, my goals may be different. And that's important to me. Important to me. So, what is important to you? Is it to be going through the month with no negative, nothing declining? How much does your bank decline each month? Is it $1,000? Would an extra $1,000 from your business keep you from going in the red each month? Have you made up your mind that you're not getting another job? Have you made up your mind that there's not another way? Is it that pressing? When it becomes that pressing, you begin to focus. Your why puts you in a position to where you can focus. Your why puts you in a position to where you can focus. And so I want you to put yourself in a position to where you know exactly what you're going after, the reason why you're doing it, the thing that wakes you up in the morning, the thing you may be running from. Eventually, you want to get into a position where you're running too. But I know when I was in the beginning of my business, I was running from. I was running from the fact that I did not want to get another job. I was running from, but ultimately, I was running towards freedom. I didn't even realize it, but I was running towards the freedom that I now have to this day. So it's not about what other job do I have to get. Now it's about how many people can I help in order to bless my family? How many people do I have to help in order to bless my family? And this puts me in a position to where I have the mindset of when someone does not, it does not matter because my gas is premium. It sucks because ultimately we're dealing with people. And that's the whole point of the spiritual and personal development. But ultimately, knowing the goal that I have helps me to, and when I say goal, I mean the why that I'm designed to fulfill, the reason why I wake up, the reason why I press forward. And then it goes deeper. So let's just go back to the beginning. So, Rachel, why don't you want to get another job? Well, let's be honest, I don't trust other people with my kids. I don't trust other people with my kids. Trust issues. Told the leadership earlier today. God is working on me. Okay. Trust issues. So I want to be able to control who my kids go to. I can't do that if I don't have control of my situation. If I have to be at work at a certain time and the person that I'm used to watching my kids is not available, guess what? You don't have a choice. You have to go to work. So now I'm putting my kid in a situation that I'm not comfortable in. That's not okay for me. Also, it was imperative that he stays in the school. Now, of course, I'll go to the school and make arrangements for sure, but I don't want to keep doing it. And I need to be able to, like, I want my kid in this school and I want to be able to pay for it. I want to be able to have the money necessary to keep my son in this school. And I've decided that this is the way that I'm going to do it. Not student loans, not another job, not picking up hours. This is how I'm going to do it. This is going to give me the freedom to be the mom that I want to be. The mom that, so Rachel, why? Why? Well, the mom that I want to be is important to me because number one, my kid didn't ask to be here. He didn't ask to be here. I have an idea of the quality of life that I desire to give my child. I desire to give my child. And because of the quality of life that I desire to be my child, to give my child, I'm going to wake up and show up as that person to be able to give my son these things. I'm willing to do the work in order to transform my business to yield what it needs to yield for my family. So let's talk about focus. So that's just about your why. So let's talk about focusing. When you know your focus, you know how to succeed. And this is something, again, I was talking about leadership about earlier. When you know your focus, you know how to succeed. Everyone in this business should be working on a chart. Period. Everyone in this business should be working on a chart. And I'm going to actually pull this up just for later. And of course, these numbers are outdated, but I still want to show it. So when you start in this business, the first rank that we have is executive, right? The first rank that we have is executive. The next rank that we have is Ruby. And then we have Emerald and then Diamond. And Diamond is our leadership level. So we'll stop at that Diamond position. So here's the thing. When we have ourselves in this position to where, and I want you guys to be able to see this. When we have ourselves in this position where you're a new distributor, you're just starting, and it's like, okay, well, how do I succeed in this business? How am I effective with getting towards my goal, even when it comes to like the Quick Start program and things of that nature. Because that's important. The Quick Start program is important because you have a lot of money that you can make in the beginning, especially with getting a new distributor started. You want to set them up to be successful. Why is the chart still important? Why is the chart still important? The chart is still important because it is your roadmap. It's your roadmap. It's your roadmap. And so when you put yourself in a position to where you have a roadmap, you know where you're going. So what's the point of having a car with gas? And what's the point of having a car with gas and you don't know where you're going? That's smart. That's real smart. It's not smart. And so you want to put yourself in a position to where you know exactly where you're going. And so when somebody is first starting this business and you pull out the chart for them, the first chart that they should be looking at is that executive. So they look at this executive chart and they think about working through the Quick Start program. So what I like to do is I'll come over here on the side and I like to put steps. A new distributor should still be focusing on steps, period, because we want them set up to be effective in this business. So that would be perks members one, two, three, four, and then that would be distributors one, two, three. So you're going to go out and get your four perks members, especially with all the discounts and deals that we have going on. And then you start to sign your three distributors. Now let's just say that you sign Susie, let me add this Susie, and let's say Ashley. You sign Susie and Ashley, but you sign these four perks members. Depending on when you sign them, you're going to be able to help these people get to 400. You know your roadmap. Each month you should be pulling this out and you should know your roadmap. And I told the team, the leaders, that I'm going back to old charts, period. For myself personally, you do what you want to do. But I know for me, I need to see the old charts. What are the old charts? The old charts are setting yourself up to where there is more winning. So, for example, on the Ruby chart, instead of me just focusing on my three boxes, knowing that the volume increase is needed, I'm focusing on Susie going through to sign her two distributors. So this sets me up to sign and then what you do is, because like my steps is done, what do? I erase it and start all over again. My goal is four perks members, three distributors. Looking at this when I get up every single morning, being able to say, all right, Susie is at 400 BV, and these both need to be at 400. There's nobody here. So, of course, we got zero. We need 400. 400. Ashley is at 280 and she needs 120. And I still need to sign a DT here. So it's really here, since this is my chart, we're going to do these numbers. These numbers are the order that I place my one, two, and three distributor. So my goal today here, I'm waking up in the morning and I know that my goal is 4 p.m.s. When I sign my 4 p.m.s, where is my volume going? Well, my volume is going here, right? Because this is the next box that needs to be filled to 400. So let's just say today I sign, let's see, Amy and Stacy. Amy sides with 80 BV, Stacy sides with 60. So that is 120 minus 80 so that fills this 400 box. So boom, I just set up. So now I move my two customers underneath her and Ashley is complete. Where is my focus? I still need two perks members and three DTs. But my next step, my focus was Ashley. That was my next step. So I completed my next step. I am executive. That made me executive. Ashley already had, Susie already had 400. Shout out to Susie. And then I just filled Ashley to 400. I'm executive. I hit the first rank in the company. That's a big deal. So now, even though I have over here Amy and Stacy, right? My goal is still to finish these steps. That's still my goal. But now I can come over to this chart and finish it. So now I go out, and my next step is to fill my number one box. That is my only goal. If I sign customers along the way because of all the follow ups and all of the, then that's great. But my number one goal today is to fill this 400 box and talk to as many people as I can. And guess what I do? I talk to my husband, all right? And I sign William. Boom. So now I done signed William. I'm boxed in for Ruby per se, but not really because I'm focused on Susie going Ruby. I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work with Susie, but for real, I want my husband to be that executive because that's T2 checks and that's going to my household. So now I'm gonna start working on my next two customers. So I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna talk to as many people as I can. And guess what? His mom wants to sign because she wants to support us, and she needs to support herself when it comes to health. She did 40 BV, and then his aunt also signed, and she did 40 BV too. Now I'm gonna move these two customers underneath him, so he has 80 BV. He needs 320 to hit 400, and then I'm gonna add this up over here. So that's eight. That's it. 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 140, 180, 180, 140, 180, and then that's 220. So this is 220. So I know bonus wise, I still need another 80 BV to hit 300 for my bonus. So that's a whole nother thing. But I'm just going to keep working. To finish my steps, I need here and here. I need here and here. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to focus on step two and step three. Now, if you're an old distributor, this is setting you up for the summer sizzle bonus. But either way, focus, focus. So my goal here is to help him get to 320 in volume and to get these two distributors. That is my ultimate focus. But because I'm working by numbers and I already went executive, which is so exciting, can anybody tell me in the comments what's the next thing I'm going to do? What is the next thing I'm going to do? What's going to be the number one priority for me? Come on, shoot out answers. Even if you think it's wrong, it don't matter. Shoot it out. What's the number one thing I'm going to do? Chart Susie for executive. Nope, I'm not going to do that. Looking at my chart, working through my boxes, what is the next thing that I'm going to do? Close the 400 box. Absolutely. That was hard. Now, that was a tricky question. So, Erica, actually, both of the answers could be right. But personally, I'm going to close that 400 box. Now, do you prioritize the box over the steps? Do you prioritize the box over the steps? What am I going to say? Somebody answer me. No. Well, do you prioritize the box over the steps? Yes. 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 Technically, yes. Technically, yes. So I'm going to focus on here. This is my primary focus for the day. I'm focused on 300, 320 in volume. I am focused to work with William and close that box. That's the number one priority. Because once I do that, then I can go on to close my steps and work on Susie's executive. But the best part about it is now Susie is working with me because really Susie should be working on her steps, right? So as I'm working to close this box, I'm helping Susie with coaching calls. Susie, get me on as many three-way calls as you can today. Because we have to get you boxed for a executive. And because Susie listens and is focused on one thing, guess what? Susie signs two distributors. She's box four executive. And now we can focus on those 4 PMs. Now, this may be confusing, but I promise you, if you grasp the concept, you'll be fine. This is why we work on the 1st through 15th, we work on being boxed. The 16th through the 31st, or the end of the month, is when we work on volume. You want to do your steps regardless. You get the bodies in place, which sets you up to fill the volume with more people. If that does not make sense, I want you to ask a question for those of you guys who are on. Actually, I won't move on until one person asks a question. Somebody ask a question. Come on here. I need to call on somebody. Miss Shamia asked a question. Oh, I think you got saved by the bell. Eric asked the question. What about sign dates? How do you account for those? That's a good question. What about sign dates? How do you account for those? So these are people who are saying that they're going to sign up, but just haven't done it yet. So when I have sign dates, I'll put them with pencil in here. Let's just say you got one signing on 8/27 and 8/31. Well, technically, if these people are signing and you have not worked with them to bring in the volume, it's really up to you. If you're going to depend on these people, you need to have their information already filled out on the form, and then you need to have them already working on their hundreds list if they're on your chart. So unless this person is boosting, this person that comes in on the 31st, they can't be on my chart because it's not enough to close the box, because ultimately my goal is to close this. So if I don't have loyals, perks members that I'm already putting underneath them, they're not coming in with volume, they don't understand the assignment because I haven't told them the assignment, then they can't be the ones. Does that make sense? It's a good question. All right. The last thing that I'm going to talk about today is action. Putting yourself in a position that you are pushing towards massive action. Massive action. Massive action. You have to know your why. You have to know your gas. You have to be focused and have a roadmap and know exactly where you're going. And then you have to actually put your foot on the gas. Put your foot on the gas. So you fill your car, you know where you're going. You put it in GPS, you pull out your map. Then you have to actually press the gas. And this is where a lot of people get stopped. I'm not taking my foot off the gas unless I'm coming to a place where I need to. And it's only to slow down or because I'm at a pause at a light before I can go again. And normally, when you're at a pause of a light, it's literally a pivot. It's a pivot game. So, a massive action is putting your foot on the gas. You know where you're going, you know why you're going, you need to get there. You know why you're going, you know where you're going, you need to get here. And this is the simplicity of PMF SDPD. Now, here's the thing, I love PMF SDPD, but one of my highest legs is because they go from exposure to exposure, parties to party, event to event. When you know where you're going, you do the mundane, which is SDPD PMF. That is the mundane. It's just a part of your job. It's a checklist. It is. It's a checklist. But when you know your focus and you know the ammunition, your action, it determines and dictates your action. So if I pull back up that chart, so not only do I have my why now, I have my spouse's why. And I see this as an opportunity to make money for my spouse and I. So my action becomes more than the average who may have, oh, I just want to $50. I just want an extra $50 so I can pay for my product. And now listen, I ain't mocking you because we need you. We need you. Black Diamond Team, we need you. But that's not going to drive massive action. Gas dictates your massive action. For example, let's just say that your kid, there's something wrong with your kid. Something wrong. Something happened with him. And you are across town or you're a state over. What's your why? I need to get to my kid. Do you have a roadmap? Do you know how to get there? Yes. Come on, GPS. You filled your tank. You know your why. You know where you're going. What does that action look like? Your gas pedal is to the floor. You got on radars to make sure that you don't go to jail and get pulled over. That's what it looks like when you have premium gas. When you have premium gas, your action will be next level. You will run towards that. And I'm going to tell you, distractions mess up your end game. Because if you got, let's just say you have another kid that decides to call you when you need to get on the road to get to your other child. Well, depending on how important or how much of a crisis that your other child is in, that other kid gonna have to wait. But that's only based off the premium of your gas. And so I'm gonna submit that a lot of people may need to revisit your gas. You may need to go back to what's your why. What are you believing that this business will do for you? And sometimes I'm gonna just take off family and say you. What will this business do for you? Because people get so mixed up in family stuff and the relationship with your family that you're not even going after what you really want. And I'm telling you, I've been in this business for 11 years. I've had a lot of gas. I've had selfish gas. I've had servitude gas. And I'll tell you, the servitude gas is what got me started. Initially when I first started, I decided one of the reasons why I started outside of my son. So that was my initial why I wanted to pay for private school, but I did that really fast. So within my first 2 weeks, I realized that I made $400 in sample cash. Like, okay, I was like, okay, I can do this. But then I needed something bigger. And that something bigger was one of my friends, her son was autistic, and it was like, okay, now I'm gonna see you through to be able to pay for your son to go to therapy. I'm gonna see you through so that your son can go to therapy. So I grasped hold of somebody else's wife. Then God gave me another why. It was my wedding. So no matter what anybody said that day, I didn't care. This business is paying for my wedding. I don't care. That was my critical situation. No matter who distracts me, I have a payment coming up for the next thing that I desire for my wedding. And so guess what? I'm gonna have the money. My gas is that point, so it pushed me to massive action. So it may be time to revisit your gas. What is your why? What is your why? Have you truly said, you know what? The breakdown that I gave you regarding Trey in the beginning. Have you really thought about it that deeply? I don't want nobody else watching my kids. I don't want to depend on other people. I want to be able to give more. I want to be able to travel with my spouse. And this is how I'm going to do it. Not extra hours, not another job. This is my vehicle. And then you need to tell yourself why. Why? Because for me, it wasn't Well, I don't want to just get another job and pick up another. Like, I could have been applying to new jobs, right? I have a master's degree. I could have applied to new jobs. I could have, whatever, picked up more heads, whatever. I made the decision that I don't want to do that because. So you write that down. I don't want to do that because. So when you think of all the ways that could rectify your why, I need you to write out, I don't want to do that because. So for example, now to this day, I don't want to do that. I mean, my husband and I, we have a master's degree. I'm in school for my PhD. I want to get a job because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this because I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy being the master of my fate. I enjoy doing my time. So guess what? It has a cost. And the cost is in the massive action that allows me to fuel my destination, which is my focus. Make up your mind. Because when you make up your mind, you will, when your mind is made, because that's the thing. Have you made up your mind? When you make up your mind, you commit wholeheartedly and you begin to find solutions. And guess what? Solutions begin to find you. That's true. Solutions begin to find you. You also go forward in a nonchalant, courageous perspective. And when I say nonchalant, I mean like you don't care about what other people think. I don't care. Because what you're not going to do is pay for my son to his tuition. Or let's go back to what I said in the beginning. What you're not going to do is put forth towards this $10,000. It's actually more than that. Maybe it's, it's about 1,500. Okay. You're not paying 1,500. So why am I even giving you the time of day? You're a distraction. I'm back to my focus, which is this 400 bucks, which is these 3DTs and the massive action it takes me to get there because you're not, if it is not moving me towards the goal, it is a distraction. If it is not moving me towards the goal, and when I say that, you think about it, because even when people get into this place where they're just going, 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 well, guess what? You can't go because the car needs an oil change. You keep driving without oil change, your car will start breaking down. So the oil change is a part of the goal. New windshield wipers is a part of the goal. New tires is a part of the goal. Cleaning out your car is a part of the goal. But everything it focuses around the car. Who's the car? You. You're the car. You're the car. Your why is your gas. Your focus is your roadmap. And the massive action is you pressing down on the gas. But you still have to take care of the car. But ultimately, taking care of the car is a part of the goal. Because in order to, you could have gas, but if you don't have a car that has maintenance, it don't matter. Anybody ever had gas in your car and it would stop? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But ultimately, you taking care of you is a part of the goal. It's a part of the goal. And so I want you to think about that. If it is not take care of the car and getting the car where it needs to go, it is a distraction. So if like I would say this is real life. How important is your why? And are you actually headed somewhere? Because most are headed in nowhere because they don't know where they're going. So I'm going to submit to you guys. Know your why. Know your why. Understand that you're a car. Know your why. Put premium gas into your car. Reevaluate your why. Number two, focus. Know your map. Know your chart. Know exactly where you're going and what's next. I can't get to Kentucky without going through Indiana. Or I can, but it would be beating around the bush. That makes no sense. Know what that is? And number three, press towards massive action. And that is put your foot on the freaking gas. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I drive fast in real life. In real life, I drive fast. And when I'm in the car with somebody who drives slow, my husband, bro, let me drive. Because if not, I'm going to complain the whole time. Let me drive. Put yourself in the driver's seat and go towards massive action so that you can get the results that you desire. I love y'all. I'm getting up off here. I'm going to go see my granny who's in the hospital. I'm going to pray y'all out. Dear Heavenly Father God, I just love you today. I honor you. I just appreciate for you shifting our mindset to focus on our why, focus on where we're going, and then focus on getting there with massive action. God, I love you. I thank you. I thank you for how you are shifting us. I thank you for how you are making us courageous. God, I even thank you for the people that you are pouring into this, the people who will watch this later, that are really going to press towards the market, towards their goals for themselves first, for themselves as a massive part of this team. God, we love you and we honor you in Jesus' name. Amen. Peace out, friend.